Become the 1%, the daily disciplines that change everything, written and published by Vox Reads. Introduction. You are one decision away from a different life, not someday, not in a year. Right now, this book is about that decision. The decision to rise, the decision to grow, the decision to live with the discipline and clarity that define the top 1%. Most people want change, but wanting is not enough. Real change happens when daily choices shift, when small actions replace old habits, when discipline becomes a part of who you are, not something you try once in a while. This book will guide you through that shift. You will learn the simple disciplines that shape extraordinary lives. You will learn how to build focus, how to protect your energy, how to choose actions that move you forward every day. These ideas are not complex, but they are powerful, and when applied with consistency, they change everything. Each chapter gives you clear insights that you can use right away. No complicated theories, no overwhelming routines, just practical steps that help you strengthen your mind, your habits, and your identity. You will hear stories, principles, and daily practices that work in real life. Practices used by people who rise above average, people who think differently, people who live with intention, discipline, and purpose. As you listen, you may feel challenged. You may feel inspired. You may even question the way you have lived until now. That is good. Growth begins the moment you step outside your old patterns. This book is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about showing up. It is about becoming the kind of person who can trust themselves to do what matters. By the end, you will understand what separates the top 1% from everyone else. You will know the habits that elevate your life, and you will have the clarity to start your own transformation today. So take a breath, settle in, and get ready. You are about to learn the daily disciplines that change everything. Chapter 1. The decision that changes your life. There is a moment in every person's life when they feel the quiet pull of something more. It might happen on an ordinary morning. It might happen after a major setback, or it might come as a gentle voice inside that whispers, "You were meant for more than this." This voice is easy to ignore. Most people push it away, but for a few it becomes the beginning of a new direction. A single decision. A decision that changes everything. This chapter is about that moment. The moment when you stop waiting. The moment when you stop drifting. The moment when you choose to take control of your life with intention and discipline. The truth is simple. Change does not start with a plan. It starts with a decision. A clear, honest decision to rise above who you have been and step toward who you can become. To understand the power of this moment, think about someone who transformed their life through one choice. Consider the story of a man named David. David was stuck in a job he disliked. He lived in a cycle that repeated every week. Work, eat, sleep, stress, repeat. He kept saying he wanted to change, but nothing happened. One night, he looked around his small apartment. He felt the weight of wasted time. He realized that no one was coming to rescue him. In that quiet moment, he made a decision. He said to himself, "I am done accepting less than what I know I can be." That decision did not transform his life overnight, but it changed his direction. He left excuses behind. He built new habits. He grew stronger. And within a few years he became a different person. What happened to David is not magic. It is the natural result of a committed mind. He did not start with discipline. He started with a choice. A choice that created discipline over time. When you make a real decision, you shift the anchor of your identity. You stop thinking like the old version of yourself. You begin acting like the person you want to become. That shift is subtle at first but powerful in the long run. Think of this decision as the doorway to the entire book. Everything that follows builds on this one step. Your routines, your habits, your focus, your attitude, all of it begins here. Many people never make this decision because they wait for perfect conditions. They wait for motivation. They wait for more time. But perfect conditions do not exist. Life will always feel busy. The timing will never feel ideal. And motivation fades as quickly as it appears. This is why the 1% choose to act before they feel ready. They understand that readiness is not a feeling. It is a decision. You may wonder what this decision looks like in your life. It does not need to be loud or dramatic. You do not need to announce it to the world. You do not need to have every detail figured out. It can be as simple as saying, "Today I begin." That sentence can alter your entire future. This chapter is not asking you to change everything in a day. It is asking you to choose your direction. Once you choose your direction, your actions start to align. Your habits begin to shift. Your discipline strengthens little by little, and day by day you shape a new version of yourself. To help you start, here are a few clear insights you can use. First, be honest about what you truly want, not what others expect, not what feels safe. Ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to build? Honesty creates clarity. Clarity fuels action. Second, accept full responsibility for your future. This may feel heavy at first, but it is incredibly freeing. When you take responsibility, you gain power. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting. You start creating. Third, choose one small discipline to commit to today. Not 10, just one. The power of a decision grows when paired with a small action. Walk for 15 minutes. Read for 10 minutes. Turn your phone off for 1 hour. These are simple steps, yet they create momentum. Finally, understand that the decision to rise will challenge you. There will be days when you doubt yourself. There will be moments when the old habits call you back. This is normal, but when you remember your decision, you return to your path. You stand up. You continue. This is the heart of becoming the 1%. Not perfection, not speed, not a dramatic transformation, just a clear decision backed by consistent action. As we move into the next chapters, keep this idea close. Your life changes the moment you choose to change it. Everything else builds from that choice. This chapter marked the beginning of your journey, a journey shaped by discipline, clarity, and purpose. And it all starts with one powerful truth: you can decide who you become. Chapter 2. Master your mornings. Every morning writes the first line of your day. It sets the tone. It shapes your mindset. It influences every choice that follows. This is why the most successful people protect their mornings with intention. They know a powerful day begins long before the world makes its demands. In this chapter, you will learn how to master your mornings in a simple, realistic, and sustainable way. Not with extreme routines, not with complicated rituals, but with habits that strengthen your mind, increase your energy, and create a clear direction. Let's start with a story. There was a woman named Layla. She always felt rushed. She woke up late. She grabbed her phone the moment her eyes opened. Within minutes, she was pulled into emails, messages, and stress. She moved through her morning like a firefighter, trying to put out one problem after another. By noon she felt drained. By evening she felt behind. And by night, she wondered why her life felt out of control. One day she made a simple change. She decided to wake up 30 minutes earlier, not 2 hours earlier. Not at sunrise. Just 30 minutes. She also made herself a promise. No phone for the first half hour. At first it felt strange. She felt the urge to check her notifications. But she stayed with the plan. During those 30 minutes, she breathed, stretched, planned her day and drank water. Nothing dramatic. But slowly everything changed. She felt calmer, more focused, more in control. That small change became the foundation for a stronger, more intentional version of herself. Layla did not transform her life in one morning, but she mastered the direction of her mornings, and that changed everything. Your morning does not need to be perfect. It only needs to be yours. It needs to be intentional. It needs to serve your goals, not steal your attention. Let's break down the core elements of a powerful morning. Start with stillness. Most people wake up and rush into activity, but stillness sets your mind on the right frequency. You can sit quietly. You can breathe deeply. You can say a simple intention for the day. This is not meditation in the traditional sense. It is a moment of alignment. A moment where you choose your emotional state instead of letting the world choose it for you. Move your body. Movement is a message to your mind. It says, we are awake. We are ready. You do not need a full workout. A few minutes of stretching or walking creates energy. It wakes up the brain. It improves focus. And it gives you momentum before the day begins. Nourish yourself. Your body needs fuel. Water first, food next. A morning without hydration is like driving a car with an empty tank. When you nourish your body early, everything functions better. Protect your attention. This may be the most important part. Your attention is fragile in the morning. It is clear. It is open. It is sensitive to whatever enters it. If the first thing you see is bad news, gossip or problems, your mind takes on that tone. It is like pouring muddy water into a clean glass. Protect your attention like a valuable resource. Avoid your phone for a few minutes. Avoid noise. Avoid distraction. Give your mind space to think. Set your direction. A great morning includes clarity. Take a moment to ask yourself 3 simple questions. What matters most today? What is the one thing I must complete? How do I want to show up? These questions are short but powerful. They guide your actions. They define your energy. They help you stay aligned when the day becomes chaotic. These steps may sound simple, and they are, but simple habits are the ones that last. Simple habits create foundations. Simple habits build powerful outcomes. To help you bring this into your life, here are a few practical approaches. First, choose a morning wake-up time that works for you. You do not need to join the 5 a.m. club. You only need consistency. A consistent wake-up time stabilizes your mind and body. Second, prepare your mornings the night before. Set out your clothes. Clean your space. Write down tomorrow's top task. These small steps remove friction. Less friction means fewer excuses. Third, create a morning ritual you can actually enjoy. It could be tea. It could be music. It could be reading for 10 minutes. It could be sitting near sunlight. When you enjoy your morning, you show up for it naturally. Fourth, keep your morning routine short enough that you never miss it. A routine that is too long collapses under pressure. A routine that is short and clear becomes part of your identity. You may wonder why mastering your mornings matters so much. The answer is simple. Mornings shape momentum. Momentum shapes behavior. Behavior shapes identity. Identity shapes your entire life. When you start your day with intention, you send a message to yourself. You say, my life is in my hands. That message is powerful. It rewires your belief in your potential. It strengthens your discipline. It builds confidence. And over time it places you on the path of the top 1%. As we move to the next chapter, remember this. Your mornings are not about perfection. They are about direction. When you master the first hour of your day, you influence the next 23. Small steps, clear habits, consistent practice. This is how strong mornings create strong lives. Chapter 3. Build unbreakable discipline. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. It is the force that carries you through doubt, resistance and distraction. But many people misunderstand it. They think discipline is about pressure. They think it is about willpower. They think it is about forcing yourself through pain. In truth, discipline is far more personal. It is a relationship with yourself, a promise you learn to honor. In this chapter you will discover how to build discipline that cannot be broken. Not the kind that fades after a week. Not the kind that collapses under stress, but the kind that stays with you for life. Let's begin with a story. There was a young man named Aaron. He wanted to change his life, but he struggled with follow-through. Every time he set a goal, he would start strong for 2 days, then slip back into old habits. He blamed himself for being lazy, but that was not the truth. The real problem was that he did not trust his own promises. He said he would wake up early. He said he would study. He said he would take care of his health. But deep down, he knew he would break those promises the moment life got hard. One evening, he sat alone and asked himself a simple question. When did I stop believing myself? That question stayed with him. He realized that discipline was not about being strong all the time. It was about rebuilding trust. He decided to start with one tiny commitment. Just one. He promised to stretch for 5 minutes every morning. That was it. He stayed consistent. Day after day. 5 minutes. Simple. Manageable. Achievable. After a few weeks something shifted. He felt proud of himself. He felt dependable. That small promise became the foundation for bigger commitments. He started reading. He started exercising. He started waking up earlier. Not because he forced himself, but because he trusted himself. His discipline grew from identity, not pressure. Aaron became a different person. Not overnight, but step by step. This is how unbreakable discipline is built. Not through intensity, through consistency. Discipline begins with identity. Your actions follow the story you tell yourself. If you see yourself as someone who gives up, you will give up. If you see yourself as someone who follows through, you will follow through. Identity shapes behavior. So the question becomes, how do I build the identity of a disciplined person? You start small. You choose one action you can complete every day. Not something impressive. Something real. Something doable. Something you will not skip. This daily action becomes evidence. Every time you complete it, you reinforce your identity. You say, I do what I say. Over time that identity becomes unbreakable. Create clear rules for yourself. Discipline thrives in clarity, not in chaos, not in guessing, not in vague intentions. Create simple personal rules. Rules that guide your behavior without needing constant motivation. For example, no phone in the first 30 minutes of the day. Walk for 10 minutes every evening. Write down tomorrow's top task every night. Rules reduce decision fatigue. They turn discipline into routine. When your rules are clear, your actions become automatic. Remove the need for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It rises. It falls. It disappears. At the moment you need it most, discipline steps in. When motivation disappears, one of the best ways to strengthen discipline is to design environments that support your goals. Place your running shoes by the door. Keep your workspace clean. Put books where you can see them. Place unhealthy habits out of reach. These small adjustments shape your behavior without effort. A disciplined life is not built on force. It is built on design. Learn to win the first battle of the day. Discipline is momentum. The first action of your day influences everything that comes after. When you win your first battle, you enter the day with confidence. Make your first battle simple. Make your bed. Drink a glass of water. Review your plan for the day. When you complete your first action, your brain lights up with a sense of progress, and progress strengthens discipline. Expect resistance and prepare for. Every disciplined person faces moments of resistance. There will be days when you do not want to show up. There will be moments when excuses feel louder than your goals. This is normal. Resistance is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of growth. The key is preparation. Have a backup plan for low-energy days. If you cannot do a full workout, stretch for 5 minutes. If you cannot read for 20 minutes, read for 2. If you cannot begin a big task, complete a small one. A disciplined person does not aim for perfection. A disciplined person aims to keep the chain unbroken. Reward your progress. Discipline grows stronger when it is acknowledged. Track your wins. Celebrate small progress. Recognize the days when you showed up even when it was hard. These moments shape your self-image. They tell your mind, I am consistent. I am reliable. This belief pushes you forward. The long view of discipline. Building unbreakable discipline takes time, but the journey is worth it. A disciplined life creates freedom. Freedom from chaos. Freedom from regret. Freedom from the feeling of being stuck. When you trust yourself, everything changes. You stop negotiating with excuses. You stop feeling guilty. You stop delaying your goals. You build a life you can respect. A life you can be proud of. As we move into the next chapter, remember this truth. Discipline is not a punishment. It is a gift you give yourself. A gift that shapes your identity. A gift that transforms your future. Building unbreakable discipline is not about being perfect. It is about being committed. And when you stay committed, you move closer to becoming the 1% every single day. Chapter 4. Protect your attention. Your attention is your most valuable asset. It shapes your thoughts, your actions, and your results. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Yet in today's world, attention is under constant attack. Every notification, every message, every distraction pulls at your mind, demanding a piece of your focus. If you do not protect your attention, the world will spend it for you. In this chapter, you will learn how to guard your attention with clarity and intention. You will understand how distraction steals your potential, and you will discover simple, practical ways to keep your focus strong, steady, and sharp. Let's begin with a story. There was a university student named Mia. She wanted to improve her grades and build better habits. She tried to study every evening, but something always pulled her away. She kept her phone next to her. Every few minutes, a notification lit up the screen. A friend sent a message. A new video suggestion appeared. A post caught her curiosity. She thought she was only taking a small break, but those small breaks added up. An hour passed, then another. By the end of the night, she had studied for only 10 minutes. She felt frustrated and wondered why her goals felt out of reach. One day, she decided to experiment. She turned her phone off and placed it in another room. Then she set a timer for 20 minutes. Those 20 minutes were quiet and focused. She completed more in those minutes than she usually did in 2 hours. She felt a spark of confidence. The next day, she did it again. Bit by bit, she trained her brain to stay present. She discovered a powerful truth. Her problem was not ability, it was attention. Mia's story is simple yet meaningful. She did not need more discipline. She needed fewer distractions. Once she protected her attention, her potential surfaced. Your attention shapes your reality. Everything you experience, build or achieve begins with attention. Your relationships, your work, your growth, your habits, all depend on where your mind rests. When your attention is scattered, your results are scattered. When your attention is strong, your life becomes strong. You cannot control everything around you, but you can control what you focus on. This is one of the greatest advantages of the top 1%. They protect their attention with intention. They understand how valuable it is. They treat attention like currency. They do not waste it. The hidden cost of distraction. Distraction seems harmless. A quick check, a small glance, a tiny break. But distraction carries a cost that most people never see. When you switch from one task to another, your brain loses momentum. It takes time to return to deep focus. During that shift, creativity drops, clarity fades, energy drains. You may feel busy yet accomplish very little. You may work long hours, yet see slow progress. This is the tax of distraction, a tax you pay with your potential. The good news is simple. When you reduce distraction, your productivity multiplies. You feel lighter. You feel more capable. You feel in control again. Designing an attention-protected life. To protect your attention, you don't need dramatic changes. You need smart ones, practical ones, changes that fit naturally into your day. Here are the core elements of an attention-protected life. Create clear focus blocks. Your mind needs dedicated time to think, plan, and create. Set short blocks of focused work. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. The length does not matter. What matters is the absence of distraction. During this time, put your phone away, close unnecessary tabs, silence alerts. Give your mind the gift of uninterrupted thinking. You will be surprised how much you can accomplish when your attention is whole. Control your digital environment. Your devices are designed to pull you in. They know how to capture your attention with color, sound, and timing. You must take control. Here are simple steps. Turn off non-essential notifications. Hide distracting apps from your home screen. Put your phone in another room during deep work. Use Do Not Disturb mode during important hours. These changes may feel small, but they create mental freedom. They give your mind room to breathe. Build attention-friendly spaces. Your environment influences your focus more than you realize. A clean workspace helps you think clearly. A quiet room helps you concentrate. Good lighting lifts your mood. Everything around you communicates with your mind. Design a space that supports your goals. A space where your attention feels safe. A space where your focus can grow. Limit mental overload. Too much information weakens attention. When your mind is crowded, you lose clarity. You lose direction. You lose energy. Give your brain space. Consume less noise. Avoid constant scrolling. Protect your mental boundaries. When your mind has room, your focus becomes sharper. Practice being present. Presence is powerful. It anchors your attention to the current moment. You can practice presence in simple ways. Take a slow breath. Feel your surroundings. Notice your posture. Pay attention to your thoughts without judgment. These small moments of presence strengthen your ability to focus longer and deeper. Use attention wisely. Attention is not only something to protect, it is something to invest. Invest it in what matters. Invest it in what builds your future. Invest it in habits that raise your life. When you spend your attention on meaningful tasks, you gain clarity. You gain confidence. You gain momentum. People who master their attention do not just achieve more, they experience life more fully. Your attention is your power. As we reach the end of this chapter, remember one truth. Your attention creates your reality. When you guard it, life becomes more intentional, more productive, more meaningful. Protecting your attention is not about rejecting the world. It is about choosing your world, choosing what deserves your mind, choosing what deserves your energy, choosing what deserves your future. This is how the 1% operate, not by working harder, but by focusing better, by protecting the one thing that shapes everything else. Your attention is your power. Use it with intention, guard it with strength, and watch your life rise to a level you never thought possible. Chapter 5. Win the inner battle. Every journey of growth leads to the same doorway, a doorway that cannot be opened by talent or luck, a doorway that can only be opened by courage. Behind that doorway is the inner battle, the quiet struggle between the person you are and the person you want to become. This chapter is about that battle, the one that happens in the silence of your mind, the one no one sees, the one that decides everything. Your greatest victories will never be public. They will happen in moments when you choose discipline over comfort, courage over fear, and purpose over distraction. To win the outer battles of life, you must first win the battles within. Let's begin with a story. There was a man named Daniel. On the outside, he looked calm and confident, but inside, he felt a constant pull between two voices. One voice pushed him toward growth. It encouraged him to work, learn and change. The other voice whispered doubts. It told him he wasn't ready. It told him he had time. It told him his dreams were too big. One morning, Daniel sat at his desk. He wanted to start a passion project that he had avoided for years. As soon as he opened his laptop, the second voice appeared. You're not prepared. You need more experience. You should wait until you feel inspired. Daniel closed the laptop and walked away. That night, he felt disappointed in himself. He realized that he was not losing to the world. He was losing to the voice inside him. So he tried something different. The next day he sat at the same desk. The voice returned. This time he answered it. He said, I hear you, but I'm going to work anyway. He opened his laptop again. He wrote one paragraph. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. This small action did something powerful. It weakened the negative voice. It strengthened the voice of growth. Over the next few weeks the inner battle changed. The voice of doubt grew quieter. The voice of progress grew louder. Daniel learned the truth. You do not silence fear by waiting. You silence fear by acting. His battle was not unique. It is the same battle we all face. And it is the battle this chapter will help you win. Understand the enemy within. The inner battle is not a fight against weakness. It is a fight against resistance. Resistance shows up in many forms. Doubt, fear, procrastination, self-criticism, overthinking, comfort, distraction. These forces are not external. They come from within. They aim to protect you from discomfort. But in protecting you they also limit you. The first step to winning the inner battle is awareness. You cannot defeat what you do not recognize. When fear rises, name it. When procrastination appears, notice it. When doubt whispers, acknowledge it. Awareness gives you power. Separate thoughts from truth. Your mind produces thousands of thoughts each day. Not all of them are true. Not all of them are helpful. Not all of them deserve attention. Many people lose the inner battle because they believe every thought they hear. But thoughts are not commands. Thoughts are not instructions. Thoughts are not identity. A thought is simply a suggestion. When a negative thought appears, you have the ability to respond instead of obey. Ask yourself, is this thought real? Is this thought helpful? Is this thought aligned with who I want to become? When you pause and question your thoughts, you weaken their control. Choose action over emotion. Emotions are powerful. They can lift you or hold you down. But the top 1% do not act based on how they feel. They act based on what matters. Action does not require the perfect emotion. You can act when you feel uncertain. You can act when you feel afraid. You can act when you feel unprepared. This is how the inner battle is won. Not by waiting for confidence, but by acting your way into confidence. Every meaningful action you take trains your brain to trust you. It teaches you that you are stronger than your excuses. It replaces fear with evidence. Overcome the voice of comfort. Comfort is tempting. Comfort is familiar. Comfort feels safe. But comfort can become a trap when it stops your growth. Growth is uncomfortable because it forces you to stretch beyond your limits. It pushes you into uncertainty. It exposes your weaknesses. It demands your courage. To win the inner battle, you must learn to walk toward discomfort instead of away from it. Start small. Choose one uncomfortable thing each day. Wake up earlier. Speak up. Ask a question. Start the task you've been avoiding. Each step outside your comfort zone expands your capacity. Over time, what once felt difficult begins to feel normal. This is the process of becoming stronger. Build a voice that supports you. Many people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to someone they love. They criticize every mistake. They judge every shortcoming. They attack every flaw. But self-criticism does not build discipline. Self-criticism does not create courage. Self-criticism does not help you win. To win the inner battle, you must build a supportive inner voice. A voice that guides you, encourages you, challenges you without crushing you. Say to yourself, I can figure this out. I can start small. I can improve with practice. These statements empower your mind. They steady your emotions. They help you stay committed. Use failure as fuel. Failure is not the enemy. Avoidance is the enemy. Every person who has mastered the inner world has failed many times. The difference is how they interpret failure. Failure is not a signal to stop. Failure is a signal to adjust. Failure is feedback. When you see failure as information, not identity, you take away its power. You learn. You adapt. You grow. This mindset builds resilience. Resilience wins battles that talent cannot. The quiet strength of inner victory. Winning the inner battle is not loud. It will not always bring applause. Most of your victories will go unnoticed by others. But they will shape everything about your life. Every time you choose action over fear, you win. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you win. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you win. These wins accumulate. They build a different version of you. A stronger you. A clearer you. A more courageous you. The 1% are not special. They are simply people who win the inner battle more often than they lose. They rise each time they fall. They act even when uncertain. They trust themselves to keep going. As we move to the next chapter, carry this truth with you. Your greatest opponent is not outside you. Your greatest opponent lives in your mind. But so does your greatest power. Win the inner battle and you win your life. Chapter 6. The Power of Consistent Effort. Success is not born from sudden breakthroughs. It is built through steady, repeated effort. The kind of effort that may feel small in the moment. The kind of effort no one sees. The kind of effort that seems almost too simple to matter. Yet over time, it becomes the force that shapes your entire life. This chapter is about consistent effort. Not intense effort. Not dramatic effort. Consistent effort. The kind that turns goals into reality. Let's begin with a story. There was a young athlete named Maren. She wasn't the fastest. She wasn't the strongest. But she had something rare. She showed up every single day. While other athletes pushed themselves hard for a week and then disappeared, Maren kept moving, even on days when she felt slow, even on days when she felt tired, even on days when motivation was nowhere to be found. Her practices were not perfect. Sometimes she improved. Sometimes she struggled. But she kept returning, day after day, year after year. When championship season arrived, something surprising happened. The athletes who relied on bursts of effort burned out. They lacked stamina. They lacked resilience. But Maren, who had stacked tiny improvements for years, had a solid foundation. Her consistent effort paid off. She won races she was never expected to win. Her victory wasn't magic. It was math. The math of small actions multiplied over time. This is the power of consistent effort. It may look slow. It may feel ordinary. But it compounds into outcomes far greater than anything intense and inconsistent can create. Consistency builds momentum. Momentum is the energy that makes action easier over time. It begins with one small step, then another, then another. Each step adds to the last. Soon effort becomes routine. Routine becomes identity. A person who takes one steady action each day will accomplish more in a year than someone who works intensely for 1 month and quits. Consistency transforms effort from something you do into something you are. Small steps create big change. Most people wait for perfect conditions before taking action. They wait for the right time, the right mood, the right burst of motivation. But progress does not require perfect conditions. It requires small repeated steps. Read 1 page, walk 5 minutes, practice 10 minutes, write a paragraph, review your goals for 2 minutes. These steps are tiny, but tiny steps are powerful when taken every day. They grow into habits, and habits build your future. Think of a drop of water falling onto a stone. A single drop does nothing, but millions of drops carve a path through solid rock. Consistency has the same power. Why consistency feels difficult? Consistency is simple, but not easy. You face the same challenges every day. Low energy, distraction, doubt, resistance, impatience. These forces try to pull you off course. They make you believe your small effort is meaningless. They make you question your progress. But the truth is this: inconsistency doesn't come from weakness. It comes from forgetting the impact of small actions. Once you remember their power, consistency becomes easier to protect. Design systems that support daily action. Discipline alone is not enough. You need systems. Systems keep you consistent, even when motivation fades. Here are simple systems you can use. Prepare your environment. Lay out your workout clothes. Keep your book on your desk. Place your tools where you see them. Create time blocks. Set a small dependable period of time each day for your most important habit. Limit choice. When you remove unnecessary decisions, your actions become automatic. Track your progress. A simple checklist or journal strengthens your commitment. These systems reduce friction. Less friction means more consistency. Celebrate small wins. One reason people quit is because they look only for big results. They overlook the small victories that build those results. But small wins matter. Small wins keep your spirits high. They strengthen belief. They reinforce identity. Every time you complete your daily action, you prove something to yourself. You say, "I am someone who follows through." That identity becomes stronger with each win. Celebrate consistency. Not perfection. Not speed. Consistency. The compound effect of daily action. Imagine improving your life by 1% each day. That may sound insignificant, but over time, it changes everything. 1% growth becomes 365% growth in a year. That is the power of compounding. When small actions multiply, they create extraordinary results. This is why consistent people achieve more than talented people who lack follow-through. Talent helps, but effort that never stops becomes unbeatable. Push through the slow seasons. There will be periods when progress feels invisible. You show up, you work, you try, yet nothing seems to change. This is the season where most people quit. But this is also the season where breakthroughs begin, even though you cannot see them. Consistency is not tested on exciting days. It is tested on boring days, on heavy days, on slow days. When you stay consistent through these seasons, you build resilience. You develop grit. You strengthen your future. The results will come, but they come only to those who stay long enough to receive them. Your effort becomes your identity. The top 1% do not rely on talent or luck. They rely on the person they become through daily effort. They trust the process. They show up. They stay steady. They keep going when others stop. This identity is not built in a moment. It is built through action repeated until it becomes part of your nature. When you commit to consistent effort, you stop being someone who tries. You become someone who becomes. Consistency creates confidence. Confidence does not come from success. It comes from showing up. When you honor your daily commitments, you feel stronger. You feel capable. You feel trustworthy to yourself. Confidence is built in private long before it is seen in public. It grows every time you take one more step, even when the world is not watching. The daily choice that transforms your life. As we close this chapter, remember this truth. Your life will be shaped by what you do consistently, not occasionally. Small efforts repeated over time create big change. Big dreams without consistent effort remain dreams. Consistency is your advantage, your compass, your engine, your path to the top 1%. When you choose to show up every day, your future opens. When you stay steady, your potential expands. When you commit to consistent effort, you build a life you once thought impossible. Keep going. Keep building. Keep taking the next small step. Your consistency is quietly shaping the life you're becoming. Chapter 7. Build strong routines and systems. A strong life is not built on motivation. It is built on structure, on routines that support your goals, on systems that guide your behavior. Even when your energy is low, when you rely only on willpower, your progress rises and falls with your mood. But when you rely on systems, your progress becomes stable, predictable, and consistent. This chapter will help you build routines and systems that carry you forward automatically. Routines give your day a rhythm. Systems give your life direction. Together they create a foundation that keeps you growing long after motivation fades. Let's begin with a story. There was a graphic designer named Elena. She was talented, creative, and full of ambition, but her days felt chaotic. Some mornings she woke up early, other mornings she slept late. Her work was inconsistent. Her energy was unpredictable. Some days she produced amazing results. Other days she felt overwhelmed and stuck. She tried to force herself to work harder. She tried to push through frustration, but nothing lasted. Then one evening, after a long unproductive day, she had a realization. Her problem was not lack of effort, it was lack of structure. The next morning she created a simple routine, a morning ritual, a work block, a daily review. She also built small systems to support her habits. A clean workspace, a single task list, a weekly planning session. At first, the routines felt strange, but within a few weeks her life changed. Her stress decreased, her output increased. She felt more organized, more focused, and more confident. Elena didn't become better because she worked harder. She became better because she designed systems that worked for her. This is the power of routines and systems. They create a structure where progress becomes automatic. Why routines matter? A routine is a repeated set of actions you follow regularly. It removes guesswork. It reduces stress. It conserves mental energy. When you know what to do, and when to do it, your mind stays calm. You become more efficient. Your day flows naturally. Routines give you stability. They help you remain steady during busy periods. They help you stay grounded when life becomes chaotic. When routines are strong, your productivity becomes natural instead of forced. Why systems matter? A system is deeper than a routine. It is the structure that makes the routine possible. A system answers two questions. How will I do this? What will support me when I struggle? For example, if your routine is to read every night, your system might include placing the book beside your bed, setting an alarm to remind you, limiting screen time before bedtime. Systems eliminate friction. They remove obstacles that normally block your progress. A powerful system makes good habits easy, and bad habits difficult. The core elements of a strong routine. To build a routine that actually works, you must keep it simple. A routine filled with too many steps collapses quickly. A routine with a few powerful steps becomes part of your identity. Here are the core elements. A clear start. Decide how your morning begins. One simple action can anchor your entire day. A focus block. Choose a time to work on your most important task. Even 20 minutes can create momentum. Daily movement. Your body fuels your mind. A few minutes of stretching or walking strengthens your energy. Reflection time. End your day by reviewing what worked and what didn't. This reflection fine-tunes your progress. These steps may look simple, but they create incredible results when repeated daily. Remove decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is the enemy of consistency. The more choices you face throughout your day, the more drained you become. A routine removes unnecessary choices. You no longer waste energy deciding what to do next. Your actions become predictable. Predictability creates stability. Plan your meals. Plan your clothing. Plan your work blocks. Plan your rest. The less you have to decide, the more energy you have for big goals. Build systems that support your habits. Here are practical ways to build systems that make success easier. Organize your environment. Keep your workspace clean. Place your tools within reach. Remove distractions from sight. Use triggers. Link a habit to something automatic. After brushing your teeth. Stretch. After your morning coffee. Journal. After your workday ends. Plan tomorrow. Remove friction. Make positive habits convenient. Make negative habits difficult. If you want to read more, keep a book in every room. If you want to avoid scrolling, leave your phone outside your bedroom. These small changes transform behavior. Set expectations. Know what done looks like. Your system should define success in clear, simple terms. When your systems are strong, your habits take care of themselves. Automate your growth. Strong systems turn growth into a natural part of your life. You don't need a burst of inspiration. You don't need constant motivation. Your routines guide you. Your systems carry you. This is how high performers operate. They don't hope to be disciplined. They build structures that support discipline. Automation creates freedom. Freedom from stress. Freedom from inconsistency. Freedom from the constant battle of should I or should I not. When your routines become automatic, your mind is free to focus on what truly matters. Adjust. Don't abandon. No routine stays perfect forever. Life changes. Schedules shift. Energy fluctuates. The goal is not to stick to a routine without flexibility. The goal is to adjust quickly when life demands it. If you miss a day, return the next day. If your routine feels heavy, simplify it. If your system stops working, redesign it. Adaptation keeps routines alive. Rigid perfection destroys them. Routines and systems shape identity. When you follow your routines daily, you change how you see yourself. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to feel consistent. You begin to feel capable. This identity shift is powerful. It strengthens every part of your life. You start to believe, I am someone who follows through. That belief guides future actions. Identity built on routine is the foundation of lasting success. Design the structure of the 1%. The 1% do not rise by chance. They rise by design. They build mornings that start with clarity. They build days that follow a structure. They build nights that end with reflection. Their systems protect their energy, their focus and their discipline. You can do the same. It does not require perfection. It requires intention. As this chapter closes, remember one truth. Your routine creates your rhythm. Your systems create your stability. Together they create a life that moves steadily towards success. When you build strong routines and systems, you don't just manage your days. You shape your future. You design the life you're becoming. Chapter 8. Strengthen your body and mind. A powerful life requires a powerful foundation. That foundation begins with your body and your mind. When these two forces work together, you feel clear, focused, and ready for challenge. When they are neglected, everything becomes harder. You lose energy. You lose clarity. You lose control. This chapter is about building a strong body and a strong mind. Not through extreme routines, but through simple daily practices that support long-term growth. Because success is not only mental, it is physical, it is emotional, it is the harmony between how you think and how you move. Let's begin with a story. There was an accountant named Rafiq. He worked long hours. He barely slept. He sat at his desk all day. His mind was always racing, yet his body felt heavy. He drank coffee to stay awake. He skipped meals to save time. He convinced himself that pushing harder was the only way forward. But over time, his energy collapsed. He became irritable. His focus dropped. Tasks that once felt easy became difficult. He wasn't losing because of lack of skill. He was losing because his body and mind were exhausted. One evening his friend gave him simple advice. Take care of your body. Your mind will follow. The words struck him. He realized he had been trying to build success on a weak foundation. So he made small changes. He took short walks. He stretched at his desk. He slept earlier. He drank more water. He took 15 minutes each morning to breathe and plan his day. Within a few weeks, everything began to change. He felt lighter, clearer, calmer. His productivity increased. His stress decreased. He became stronger, not by working more, but by supporting his body and mind. Rafik learned a truth that many people ignore. You cannot build a powerful life on a tired body and an overwhelmed mind. Your body is your engine. Your body fuels your clarity, focus, and emotions. If the body is weak, the mind struggles. If the body is strong, the mind sharpens. You do not need to be an athlete to care for your body. You only need movement. Simple movement. Daily movement. Walk, stretch, breathe deeply, move your joints, strengthen your muscles. Movement wakes up your brain. It increases energy. It improves mood. It reduces stress. It helps you stay disciplined. Small motions can create big changes. Healthy habits compound just like every other discipline in this book. Build a movement habit that lasts. Many people fail because they start too big. They try intense workouts that exhaust them. They lose motivation. Then they quit. Instead, start with something small. 5 minutes of stretching, 10 minutes of walking, a few push-ups, a short yoga session. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. When movement becomes part of your identity, you naturally increase the intensity over time. Ask yourself, what is the smallest step I can take today to support my body? Then take that step. Take it every day, and watch your physical strength grow. Fuel your mind through what you eat. Food is more than fuel. It is information. It shapes your mood, your energy, and your clarity. When you eat heavy, processed or chaotic meals, your mind becomes dull. You feel tired. You lose focus. When you eat balanced meals, your mind feels sharper and calmer. You think clearly. You stay steady. You don't need a strict diet. Just aim for mindful choices. Drink water. Add fruits and vegetables. Reduce the foods that drain your energy. A well-fueled body supports a well-focused mind. Sleep is your recovery system. Sleep is not a luxury. It is a requirement. It repairs your brain. It restores your energy. It organizes your thoughts. Many people sacrifice sleep, believing it will give them more time. But lack of sleep steals time. It slows your thinking. It weakens your memory. It reduces your discipline. It increases stress. Protect your sleep like a valuable asset. Keep a steady bedtime. Avoid screens before bed. Create a calm night routine. When you sleep well, everything becomes easier. You think faster. You work better. You feel stronger. Train your mind. Like a muscle, a strong mind is not an accident. It is trained. It is developed through practice. Here are simple ways to strengthen your mind daily. Mindful breathing. It calms your nervous system and resets your focus. Writing your thoughts. It clears mental clutter and gives you direction. Positive input. Read, listen, or watch content that supports your growth. Silence. A few minutes of quiet strengthens mental clarity. Your mind becomes sharper when you train it to pause, reflect, and focus. Manage stress before it grows. Stress is not always the enemy. It becomes harmful only when ignored. The key is to manage stress before it grows into overwhelm. Notice tension early. Step back when your mind feels crowded. Take a breathing break. Stretch your body. Drink water. Walk for a moment. These tiny resets protect your mental balance. When you address stress early, you stay steady through pressure. Build emotional strength. Your mind is not just logical, it is emotional. To strengthen your mind, you must learn emotional resilience. Resilience comes from acceptance, from understanding that difficult feelings are normal. Fear, frustration, sadness, uncertainty, these emotions do not define you. They pass. You can feel them without losing control. Speak to yourself with patience. Give yourself space. Allow yourself to reset. Emotional strength is built through self-compassion and intentional action. When body and mind work together. When your body is strong, discipline becomes easier. When your mind is clear, focus becomes natural. When both work together, you become unstoppable. You think better. You feel better. You act better. You grow faster. You move through challenges with confidence and stability. This is the unseen advantage of the 1%. They protect their physical health. They support their mental clarity. They strengthen themselves from the inside out. Your body and mind are partners. As we close this chapter, remember this truth. Your success is not just mental, and it is not just physical. It is the partnership between the two. A strong body gives you energy. A strong mind gives you direction. Together they give you the power to rise. Strengthen them daily. Support them with intention. Protect them with discipline. When your body and mind become strong, your life becomes strong, your potential opens. Your confidence grows. Your future expands. This is how you build a foundation worthy of the 1%. Chapter 9. Focus on long-term growth. Growth is not measured by what you achieve today. It is measured by what you build over years. The top 1% understand this deeply. They think far beyond the moment. They look past short-term comfort and short-term praise. They focus on long-term growth, the kind of growth that creates a life of stability, purpose, and strength. This chapter will help you shift from short-term thinking to a long-term mindset, because real transformation does not happen in a burst. It happens through patience, consistency, and a vision that stretches into the future. Let's begin with a story. There was a young entrepreneur named Zara. She dreamed of building a business. She worked hard for a few months, expecting quick results. But when her progress felt slow, she became frustrated. She looked at others who seemed to rise faster. She wondered what she was doing wrong. One night she visited her uncle, who owned a quiet little orchard. She walked through rows of trees heavy with fruit. She admired the beauty of the place and asked, "How long did it take to grow all this?" Her uncle smiled. "Years," he said. "Some of these trees took a decade before they gave their best fruit." Zara looked around. "Wasn't it difficult to wait so long?" she asked. "Yes," he said. "But I wasn't growing fruit. I was growing roots. The fruit comes later." Those words changed everything for Zara. She realized she had been trying to produce fruit without building roots. She began to focus on long-term growth instead of short-term wins. She stayed patient. She improved steadily. She built systems. She learned deeply. Years later, she created a thriving business. Just like the orchard, her success grew from patience and long-term thinking. Short-term thinking limits long-term potential. Short-term thinking is driven by emotion. It wants quick rewards and immediate results. It chases comfort. It avoids discomfort. But comfort rarely builds anything meaningful. You may feel tempted to choose what feels easy today. You may want shortcuts. You may want speed. But shortcuts weaken growth. Speed without direction leads to frustration. Long-term thinking is different. It is patient. It is stable. It is rooted in purpose, not impulse. Long-term growth requires a bigger vision. To focus on long-term growth, you need a vision that inspires you, not a shallow goal, a vision that holds meaning. Ask yourself, where do I want to be in 5 years? What skills do I want to master? What kind of person do I want to become? A clear vision gives you direction. It helps you stay grounded when progress feels slow. It reminds you that every small step is part of a bigger journey. Your life changes when you build for the future instead of chasing tomorrow's applause. Commit to the process, not the pace. Long-term growth is steady, not dramatic. Some days will feel productive, some days will feel slow. But progress is progress, no matter the speed. Do not rush your growth. Rushing leads to burnout. Burnout leads to quitting. Quitting destroys momentum. When you commit to the process, the pace takes care of itself. This is how masters are made. They accept the slow seasons. They welcome the hard days. They trust that each step matters, even when the results are not visible yet. Build skills that pay you for life. Short-term thinking focuses on quick gains. Long-term thinking focuses on valuable skills. Skills give you power. Skills increase your opportunities. Skills make your life more flexible and more stable. Learn communication. Learn discipline. Learn financial literacy. Learn emotional regulation. Learn strategic thinking. These skills may take months or years to develop, but once you have them, they never leave you. They support every part of your life. Building skills is one of the strongest investments in long-term growth. Think in years, not days. Imagine your life as a garden. Each day is a seed. Some seeds grow fast. Some grow slowly. Some take years before they rise from the soil. But if you keep planting, your garden will flourish. Thinking in years helps you stay patient. It helps you focus on actions that compound. It helps you ignore distractions, comparison and noise. Your future becomes stronger when you stretch your timeline. Resist the pressure of comparison. Comparison destroys long-term thinking. When you compare your progress to someone else, you become impatient. You feel behind. You feel discouraged. You feel tempted to quit or to chase goals that are not yours. But every person grows at a different pace. Every person has a different timeline. Every person has a different path. Your only competition is your past self. As long as you are growing, you are winning. Build habits that shape the future. Your long-term success is built on the habits you repeat daily. Small habits. Simple habits. Habits that feel almost too small to matter. But these habits shape your future more than any single achievement. Read a few pages. Save a small amount. Practice a skill for 10 minutes. Reflect on your day. Plan for tomorrow. These habits compound into growth that lasts. Be willing to grow through setbacks. Setbacks are part of long-term growth. They are not failures. They are lessons. They are adjustments. They are moments that test your commitment. When something goes wrong, do not abandon the journey. Step back, learn, adapt, continue forward. Long-term success belongs to those who stay even when things get difficult. Measure growth the right way. Do not measure your progress only by visible results. Growth often happens silently. Measure your growth by your consistency, your clarity, your habits, your discipline, your emotional strength, your long-term direction. These markers show real progress, even when outcomes are not obvious yet. Long-term growth is a decision. As this chapter closes, remember this truth. Focusing on long-term growth is not only a strategy, it is a decision. A decision to rise above short-term impulses. a decision to trust the process, a decision to build something of real value. Your life will not change in a moment. Your life will change through moments, small, steady, meaningful ones, repeated for years. When you think long-term, you build your future with intention. When you act long-term, you create a life that lasts. This is how the 1% grow. Not quickly, but deeply, and with purpose. Choose long-term growth, and watch your future transform in ways you never imagined. Chapter 10. Live the 1% lifestyle. Living like the 1% is not about wealth, status, or privilege. It is about mindset. It is about behavior. It is about choosing to live with intention instead of living by default. The 1% lifestyle is built on discipline, clarity, purpose, and long-term thinking. It is a lifestyle shaped by daily choices that reflect who you want to become, not who you used to be. This chapter brings everything together. It shows you how to live the principles you've learned, not just understand them. Let's begin with a story. There was a man named Victor. He wasn't famous. He wasn't wealthy. He didn't have extraordinary talent, but he lived with intention. He woke up early. He planned his days. He protected his energy. He trained his mind and body. He acted with purpose, and he refused to let excuses decide his direction. People around him noticed something uncommon. He wasn't louder than others. He wasn't faster than others. He wasn't naturally gifted. He was simply consistent, steady, disciplined, focused, intentional. Years passed. While others drifted, Victor grew. He advanced in his career. He built strong relationships. He stayed calm under pressure. He remained grounded, even during difficult seasons. One day a friend asked him, "How do you stay so balanced and successful?" Victor smiled. "It's not about doing everything," he said. "It's about doing what matters every day." This is the essence of the 1% lifestyle. Not perfection, not intensity, not extraordinary talent, just extraordinary intention. Live with purpose, not pressure. Most people wake up and let the day decide their direction. They react to problems. They react to other people. They react to stress. Their life becomes a series of reactions. The 1% live differently. They begin their day with purpose. They know what matters. They know what they're working toward. This clarity protects them from chaos and distraction. To live the 1% lifestyle, start your day with one question. What is the purpose of my day? A purpose-driven day leads to a purpose-driven life. Practice intentional. Simplicity. Complication drains energy. Clutter steals clarity. Noise weakens focus. The 1% keep life simple, not empty, not dull, just intentional. They create routines that reduce chaos. They remove commitments that drain their time. They say no more often than they say yes. They protect their space from unnecessary noise. Simplicity creates room for growth. Ask yourself, what can I remove from my life that no longer serves me? When you simplify, you sharpen your direction. Choose growth over comfort. Comfort is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. The 1% understand this deeply. They embrace discomfort with intention. They know growth is on the other side of effort. They challenge themselves. They take on difficult tasks. They push through resistance. They choose progress even when it feels uncomfortable. This mindset separates the 1% from the 99, not because they enjoy discomfort but because they respect its value. Each time you lean into discomfort, you become stronger. Protect your energy like a valuable asset. Energy is limited. Once it is gone, the day becomes harder. The 1% protect their energy intentionally. They manage their sleep. They nourish their mind and body. They avoid unnecessary drama. They create boundaries. They spend time with people who lift them up, not drag them down. They know that where energy goes, progress follows. To live this lifestyle, ask yourself daily, what is draining me? What is fueling me? Choose what fuels you. Stay consistent, even when no one is watching. The 1% lifestyle is built behind the scenes, in private, in silence, in moments when no one is there to applaud. They practice their habits, even when motivation is low. They follow their routines, even when it's inconvenient. They stay committed without needing external validation. Consistency does not require an audience. It requires character. What you repeat in private becomes visible in your life. Keep a long-term horizon. The 1% think in decades. They make decisions with the future in mind. They know slow progress is still progress. They understand that small steps taken today shape their tomorrow. This long-term mindset creates stability. It removes panic. It reduces anxiety. It strengthens discipline. When you think long-term, you stop chasing shortcuts. You start building something real. Build a lifestyle of reflection. Reflection is a powerful tool. It reveals patterns. It shows growth. It exposes weaknesses. It guides improvement. The 1% take time to pause and reflect. They ask themselves questions like, what went well today? What needs improvement? What can I learn from this week? Reflection turns experience into wisdom. Live with gratitude and awareness. The 1% lifestyle is not only about achievement, it is also about appreciation. Gratitude strengthens emotional health. It makes daily challenges lighter. It helps you stay grounded during seasons of growth. Awareness deepens your connection to the present moment. It keeps you from rushing through life. It helps you recognize opportunities and lessons. Together, gratitude and awareness create emotional stability. Lead yourself before you lead anything else. The 1% lifestyle is rooted in self-leadership. You cannot lead a team, a business or a family if you cannot lead yourself. Self-leadership means keeping your promises, holding yourself accountable, acting with integrity, owning your weaknesses, strengthening your strengths. When you lead yourself well, every area of your life improves. A life built by design. As we close this chapter and this book, remember this truth. The 1% lifestyle is not a reward. It is a choice. A choice made daily. A choice made with purpose. A choice made with discipline and clarity. You do not need to change everything at once. You only need to start living intentionally. One morning, one habit, one routine, one small decision at a time. When you choose to live the 1% lifestyle, you shape a future filled with purpose, strength and growth. You become the kind of person who builds, not waits, who grows, not drifts, who creates, not reacts. This lifestyle is available to you. It begins now, with your next choice, with your next step, with the life you decide to build. Live with intention, live with clarity, live with discipline. Live the 1% lifestyle and rise into the person you were meant to become.